Well, how's it going today? Top of the morning to you. Today is officially Memorial Day. Since I don't have any Memorial Day duties and I'm kind of out on my own today, I can do as I please. That's something that doesn't happen too often. Well, so it's almost 9 o'clock, 8:53. We got a few woodpeckers. Everybody partied too much last night, so they're all safely in their little beds or slumped over the couch. Oh, we get a little work done today. So anyway, what I got here is, I went to a ham flea market the other day, and the guy had this piece of paper, amazingly enough, this piece of paper on the desk. And it says, too heavy to move. And right there. And his address is there, and I will try and respect his privacy, even though you don't know what city it is in, so it probably doesn't matter. Anyway, there are there's, in the picture anyway, there are 3 pieces there. So I'm looking at this. And so I get down to here, and this started to spark my curiosity a little bit. You can't really see what it is. But that's as good as it's gonna get. So anyway, my curiosity got the better of me, and I asked this guy what this was. He starts going into this huge deal about how you make me a great deal on all this stuff and blah 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 blah. It didn't answer my question, but he said it was $10, and he said there was a 4th piece. I thought, well, I've drug home stupider stuff for $10. So I said, tell you what, I give you the $10. Well, first off, I asked him, I said, were you here? Were you close? And his wife said, yeah, we're just down the street. I can take you right over there. She was pretty excited about getting rid of this stuff. He didn't seem so thrilled. Who knew? So I gave him the $10 and proceeded to get in the cars and follow her over there and pick this stuff up. And so that's 4 pieces, $2.50 a piece. So let's see what $2.50 gets you. So this is the BC 794B. Now there's a few different versions of this, so you gotta kind of pay attention a tiny bit, but nothing major. And the other 3 pieces are a power supply for the BC, and then another communications receiver. Actually, it's a VHF communications receiver. Nothing too interesting, but we'll look at it later. What this really is in the real world is a HAMMARLUND. This is a SP200, Super Pro 200. Not too bad for $2.50. And the power supply is another $2.50, so $5. So what do you get for $2.50? Well, you get crystal selector, you get the phasing for the crystal selector, you get a variable bandwidth. That's kind of caught me off guard. It has marks on it, but it's kind of continuously variable. There's a cam with an eccentric inside. Manual and AVC, the limiter, main tuning, sensitivity, power on off, snappy rust resistant nameplate, band switch, a meter. This is kind of the main tuning indicator. This is the band spreader window. And here comes the plane to destroy my video. Right on time. The 906. Not too bad. Band spreader. Signal, but it's modulated signal in CW. Basically, this is a BFO. There's a headphone jack under there. Volume controls, they call it audio gain. Standby switch, this is send receive, and the BFO tuning. On the back there's not too much. There's a mysterious aftermarket jack, SO239, somebody kind of put in there, not too bad. There's a sort of a mysterious Amphenol jack somebody cobbled in there. It appears to be the antenna connector. And there are 6 well, on one side there's 6 binding posts. There's like phones and speaker and something else. I think it's an extension of the band or the standby switch. There's also a big terminal strip over on the other side behind here. That's how the power supply gets hooked up. There's a rather large and formidable umbilical cable. Here come the lawnmowers. Well, I don't know, we can tough it out. So to get the BC going, all I'm going to use is my trusty Variac. You really don't need too many specialized tools. You know, there are probably thousands of old shortwave radios languishing in closets and hiding in basements, and your job is just to dig them out. You know, people don't want them, they're too heavy to move. You do a little research, look in the right dark scary corners, you can find them. And they're not $200, and they're not untested as is. They're $10 and they're untested as is. Okay, well, let's get the power supply out here and take a look at it. Well, so here's the portable power supply for the Super Pro. This RM94-A. It's not without its, and apparently the world's working. Well, it's after 9. The world's waking up. So yeah, it's a little bit big. We're missing a couple tubes, but don't worry. We, if you remember back a few episodes ago, quite a few actually, I got a hold of a large stash of tubes. So somebody kindly ground that into the chassis there. Not too cool. Maybe we can do something to clean that up a little bit. I'm not a big fan of making a mess, so we can get a number 80 and a 5Z3, both rectifier tubes. So what else is in here? Well, a rather formidable plate transformer. It probably has the filament voltage and a couple other voltages. Looks like a couple chokes. And some banks of caps. That says something at 500 or 600 volts. Looks like 600 volt. Looks like 8 microfarad. And I don't think this is one cap. So to get going here, you really don't need too much. I got the Variac, and I've been doing a little tiny bit of cleaning. This is some hand cleaner. And what I've been doing is putting a little bit of it on the chassis at a time. Get out the old towel here and just see what we can, if we can make a clean spot. Not too bad. You don't have to clean this stuff up, but I don't know, a little pride in your work, since this is something you're probably gonna hang on to. Like I'd mentioned before a few videos back, you don't really own this kind of stuff. You just get the privilege of paying to take care of it. So let's treat it pretty decent. So on the back here, like I said, there's a relay jack. I think that's the transmit, standby, receive, contact. This is aftermarket, SO239. This is aftermarket. This should have a pair of binding posts, probably like that. This is all the power strip here for the filaments and stuff, and then there's a phono, speaker, and phones, and we're missing a screw. We're actually missing a couple screws. Over on the power supply, we got the same mating jack, and someone's kind of labeled that. We get the sketchy line cord, a little tape. So we need to get a speaker. We need to get a couple tubes. Okay, so I found a couple tubes. This is a number 80. That's actually a military one, so we're like doing it right here. Very seldom do I ever test tubes anymore. I test them in circuit. I might as well get rid of my tube tester. Is that another military one? Nope, but that's okay. Do the best you can with what you have where you're at. How's that sound? Teddy Roosevelt said that, I think. So what else do we gotta do here? We're just kind of giving things a little bit of a look-see. Wiping off a little bit of the dirt. And in a minute or two, we'll pour the coals to this. I need to get the umbilical. You had the umbilical cable, amazingly enough. And a couple little time bombs. This door was off of the thing, but luckily he had it in a bag with a handful of screws. it was inside the unit. Also, I found inside the unit a knob and a little shaft. And what the deal was is this phase control was broke. It's kind of a phenolic sort of a adapter. Anyway, it was all broke off. Just it looks like this. Now it looks like that. So I took the knob off the shaft, and actually I super glued that. I just doped it up with a lot of super glue and stuck it on there and let it sit. And it seems to be hanging in there. Sometimes super glue doesn't take too well to certain forces. There's a number there, or a name there. It says lot 33. I just noticed that. So, I don't know. We got a few scratches and scrapes, a little paint peeling. I could use a little bit of cleaning up. And I think we're going to get a speaker and kind of pour the coals to her. We can monitor the power supply from the outside, but let's get that cool. Yeah, so let's get the cabling on the back. Oh. So we're missing a few screws. No problemo. They appear to be just number 6 machine screws. Put them babies in and get on our way. Probably the only tool you really need here is your brain. Kind of stuff is really built to last forever and in harsh environments, and there's no reason not to continue that tradition. So just keep on keeping on. How's that sound? Gee, you're probably disappointed I don't have a fancy lab with a lot of junk hanging over my head. Okay, so this is the umbilical cable for the SP200, and it appears somebody's labeled this. It looks like ground and AC, and looks like 100 volts, 200 volts, some voltage. It says 110 AC. This is probably the switch to turn this on. It looks like negative 50. Over here, you got the same thing. It's like filament voltage, maybe a ground, 90 volts. It says B plus high, negative, and a switch. So this cabling, I've trimmed this up a little bit. This has kind of got a cloth, woven cloth liner on it, and it's all frayed here. I dabbed a little bit of glue here, and there goes another lawnmower. We're gonna have lawnmowers all day. How clever. So it looks like maybe this connector goes on there this way. Wouldn't have this problem if I lived on a soundstage. So the mate to this looks like it's like this. these colors are so faded, they've kind of just turned all brown. But down at this end, there are some black wires, and the mate to it seems to have that same thing. Nah, I don't know, I suppose I could test it. So we'll just test a couple real quick. Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay, so if you get the BC and don't have this, it looks like the cabling would be easy enough. You just get some nice wire and make up a little harness there, put some lugs on there and just go on your way. This looks like it's about 6 foot long. Pretty good size. So here we'll do the same thing. Okay, let's see if we can get this. What, there about 10 lugs there? So it looks like filaments, some kind of common ground, returned. This says plus 100, and this just says 90 over here. Next to it, this says 250, and this says B plus. Over here it says B plus high, and this says, looks like 400. I could probably cheat and get out the internet. Look this up. This won't be any fun. Now, of course, I can get away with this because of experience. So if you're new to this, you might want to take all the precautions you can. Or if you just feel uncomfortable with this kind of stuff. Thank you. So when we don't have barking lawnmowers, we have annoying dogs. You just don't get any smarter, do they? Okay. So there's a couple ways we could do this. We could hook the voltmeter up to... Hey, are you supposed to be down here? Someone's being very sneaky, the mighty hunter. Hey, I'm talking to you. Get back up there. Okay, well, since I'm more interested in working on my radio than I am watching the cat, we had to put her away. Okay. One-handed videoing, it's the best. So we'll plug in. The Variac. And turn that down and turn that off. Yeah, make sure you don't get those mixed up. And then I get a nice swig of orange hand cleaner. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. We'll just tap the cord right here. Like that? It's new. Okay, what do we gotta do to set up the front? Oh, most radios are the same. Sensitivity up. We need an antenna. AVC. We'll turn the crystal filter off. We got the phaser in the middle. We got the band selector wide open. This doesn't go down too far into the broadcast range. it just touches the edge. Now the broadcast range here in the States has been, for medium wave, has been creeping up over the years. So use that to our advantage. So there ought to be a station about there. Sensitivity will, well, which way would the band spreader be? I don't know, I'm going to say 0. We want a modulated signal, we want audio gain. And we got a standby. Okay, so all we're going to do is just bring this up a tiny bit to see if the power supply is running. We could have done this without hooking the radio up. It may have been to our advantage, but that's okay. So give this fuse a quick check. Looks like it's still in one piece. Well, we don't seem to be seeing anything there. Oh, did we turn the set on? Schoolboy error number 1. Okay. So we got to see this raise up a tiny bit. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay. Well, let's make some dangerous assumptions. Let's say that the chassis had return ground. Okay, they appear to be together. What do we got? We're supposed to have about 100 volts here. Now that won't come up until the power supply starts to warm up. We don't have any filament voltage hardly. We got about 4 barking dogs, 2 lawnmowers, and a partridge in the BC. Hey, these are the jokes. Don't forget to tip your waitress. A little marking there. Something, ground. Okay. So we're at about 40 volts here. I don't see anything happening. But we're out in the sun, which is a disadvantage. Appears to be... Oh, we got a little voltage there. So what do we got for AC voltage here? A couple volts. What do we got? This says 200 and some volts. 190. And this just says high voltage. Okay. This says negative 13. It says negative 50 there. This says AC, which I think this is the switch. So the power is down the line cord, up the umbilical cord into the switch in the front, and when you close it, it turns the power supply on. I'll tell you what, we'll watch the high voltage. Me, I'm a little different. Well, who knew? I usually try and make the sets run first before I go replacing all these things. The reason being is, I don't know, I'm just curious. And then when it comes time to fix the set, I can actually fix the problems. Then go back and do the maintenance. But that's me. So we got a couple 100 volts there. So we got 250. Are we seeing anything? Oh, there we go. We got a little bit of light. Alright. Well, there we go. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll shut this off and let it sit for a tiny bit. I'll go find a speaker. Okay, so we added the speaker here. And I just kind of invented a connection for the antenna. Just bring the power supply back up a little bit. Just take it easy here before we get too excited, and the power supply will probably behave just fine. it's come up. So we'll just bring that up a little bit. So I just threw a little clip lead on there for an antenna. We're just in town. We'll be able to hear a broadcast station. Shouldn't be a problem. And okay, so we're kind of just sitting here enjoying the outside world, watching the power supply come up. Somewhat about, looks like about 30 volts mains power. Just bring that up a little bit more. I don't see the lighting coming up yet, but we're pretty far down. We got about 100 volts there. Things will start getting exciting here pretty quick. Okay. So AVC, we got it tuned about where we think it should be. Just turn the volume all the way up. And we just keep raising the mains voltage till something starts working or something starts burning. So we're starting to get up there pretty good. We're at about 50 volts mains voltage. Looks like the filaments are starting to light up on the... Looks like my janky antenna fell apart. How quaint. I think what that is a damn microphone connector for an Amphenol, or an Amphenol microphone connector. This would have had a little Bakelite piece here with two terminal. I don't know why somebody replaced that. Probably because it was cool and hip. It's just stupid. Although give them credit, they did make a nice piece. Pretty high hopes that this will come up and run. So it isn't the birds or lawnmowers, it's the neighbors banging around. Okay. I wonder what the filament voltage is doing. Looks like we're about halfway there. This antenna really should be for a balanced connector. Just raise it up a little bit more. You know, pretty soon here, we ought to start hearing something if things are going our way. Well, the birds are happy today. We could check the power supply. I don't know what the ripple is on there. That would be, what's the power supply doing? Is that real? It's pretty quiet. Oh, it's a new meter. I've never tried the AC ripple on there. Sometimes the DC biases those and makes them unhappy. Might have to get a real meter. Well, nothing appears to have changed. Do you hear anything? There's a little crackle when I jack with the volume control. So we're getting there. It's entirely possible these switches are all dirty and the thing won't work. but a little more mains voltage. We're getting up there pretty good. What'll start happening here is there's some noise. Is the tubes will start to conduct and start dragging the power supply down. There's a hiss. I can hear it from here. Hear it? Well, things are going our way. Oh, here we go. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, what do you know? We'll turn the sensitivity down a little bit. So what do we got? About 90 volts. And it looks like we got a little ways to go.
Improve your child's identity formation, pull them away, spend time with them, look at your kids in the eye, turn off your cell phone, keep a basket in your kitchen, throw everybody's electronics in there, and go out and do something. It's the VW that you talked about, hearing your father's engine coming down. It made you feel good because influence over our kids.
Let's make a vertical.
We do that now. I lay me down to sleep, and then we pray for different things.
Wonder if the guy over at Ham and Shortwave Radio would approve. Sure he would. It's just temporary.
Be a more understanding mommy, and then you're the best mommy in the whole world. And Maria's like silent.
Oh, here we go.
And the boy's like, mommy, you're the like, oh, that's the youngest mom.
Tenders in the thick, creamy buttermilk, then coat them with seasoned flour.
Yeah.
When you bite into one that's been cooked to golden perfection, it's crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside.
Well, things seem to be working. Looks like we're going our way. So let me just keep raising the voltage, and when we get up to full power,